Welcome back, everybody. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Aaron.
This is our show, Crypto101. Aaron, I want to buy 10,000 Bitcoin tomorrow.
10,000?
That's
10,000? God bless you.
At least 20, maybe 30, you know.
Couldn't have picked a
that
better time.
Pocket change. Right. You know, I see the numbers are going down, so I want to make a little investment. I have some canned money left over I want to throw in at the...
Well, let's get right to it. Let's not waste any time. Well, there's a few things we need to consider when we're looking at especially purchasing a quantity like 10,000 Bitcoin. I mean, right now that's like upwards in over $10 million or so. So if you got that for pocket change.
I got a rich uncle.
Excellent. So let's take a look at that. One of the first ways
Sam.
I definitely want to go through the process of, or rather the easiest, and we'll get into some of the more of the difficult ones later on, but let's start out with some of the basics. And the basics here is Coinbase. Coinbase has done a lot of great things in the crypto space currency. They have made a very user-friendly platform that anybody can use. Well, at least in the 32 countries that it's available in. With this application, which is also the #1 most downloaded application and took the lead over YouTube not too long ago, I believe about a month and a half ago, over 60 million downloads. I'm sure it's probably 70 or 80 million now.
Of Coinbase?
Of Coinbase.
Oh, that's incredible.
Coinbase. It's fantastic. So they've done really, really well in this space. And the reason why is because it's so user-friendly. Nowadays, you can actually pull out your phone, download the app, load your information, put your debit card in there, and right off of the bat, you are able to purchase up to $200 per week, instantly.
Per week?
Instantly, per week. That's just downloading the app out of the box, setting it up on your phone, linking your debit card. That is basically the lowest tier of account that you can get on Coinbase.
So I have a American Express Black Diamond, Premier card.
I'm sure you do.
So it's unlimited,
like
right? It's how I bought my helicopters. And so you're saying when I put my really sweet black card on there that I can only pay $200 a week?
Yeah. So if you're looking to buy $10 million worth of Bitcoin, I think it's going to take you quite a long time. So with that being said, there are some things that you can do to up the limits on your account.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
we're going to go
absolutely.
to the moon with this. All right.
So one of the first ways is not only can you link your debit card, but you can link your bank account.
Oh boy.
Over the years that I've seen this application work, it's done very, very well. It's been very, very secure, and I haven't heard a lot of security issues with linking bank accounts to this application.
So there's no worries of all of a sudden my bank account just disappearing money from it?
No, absolutely not. And I personally use this app myself as well, making smaller transactions. For some of the larger ones, like I said, we do. There are some better ways, and we'll talk about why that is. So the next step you could do is link your bank account. So now we have our debit card and our bank account accessible to Coinbase.
All right.
Now, another thing that they have, or another tier level, is called KYC, Know Your Customer. And what that is basically it's a standardized process that these applications and these exchanges use to basically figure out that you're not a terrorist.
Okay.
Or you're not trying to launder money or, embezzle
Right,
this,
it's like
that,
the I'm not a bot thing, is right like that?
I'm not a bot, it just is basically recognizing the fact that you're not a program trying to create multiple accounts for the sake of...
spamming and...
Yeah, spam purposes or... malicious intent. There we go. Malicious intent.
No, I just want to buy a lot of Bitcoin.
I understand it, and we're going to get you there. So, know your customer is basically a process that you use where you can use a driver's license or a passport and things of that nature to upload. And yes, you are actually uploading a picture of your driver's license directly to the app. So these apps are very secure. These apps are used across a multitude of different spaces, and it's becoming a very, very common practice. and there's a lot more things that are more valuable than your Social Security number these days, like 10 million Bitcoin. So it's really almost becoming a non-issue, especially I think in the earlier generations that we have now.
Well, that's at least good to know. So I've routed my bank account number. My debit card is in place as well.
And you also want to think about the 60 million people that have also uploaded their information as well. I mean, there hasn't been any credit breaches or security and identity theft through these exchanges or anything like that.
Right.
So
and we would hear about that right away, right?
Oh, we'd be tooting that horn right away.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now we've enrolled in the Know Your Customer application and we've been approved. This does take some time.
Okay.
Typically, it's anywhere from 1 to 3 days, depending on their server load and how many applications they're getting and how many they have to approve.
That's right. Now, I remember when I actually did these steps some time ago, and when I did link my bank account, actually the first time when I did just the card itself, I had to do just the card on day one. And then the next day was the bank account, and it made me look at like what two different transaction numbers that wasn't taken out of my account, but like put on hold through the Coinbase app company, and through my phone app on the banking app, I was able to see these transactions taken out, and I had to put those exact numbers into the Coinbase account so that it was verifying that that I am the person that's looking at the bank account. I am the person on this Coinbase account as well.
And this is for secure practices. This is why they do this.
It did make me feel.
And the application
pretty
doesn't
safe
take
about it.
money out of your bank, correct me if I'm wrong. They actually add like 12 or 13 cents into your bank account.
It's a hold, right. It just puts it on a hold, but it doesn't actually remove any money.
That's
there is no actual exchange.
So this way, 12 hours, they might send 12 cents to your bank account. Another 12 hours later, they might send 27 cents to your bank account. And then you go in and say, what were the two amounts approved?
Right.
And you put those numbers in kind of like a secondary verification.
Right.
And then there's another waiting period shortly after that, correct?
It was, yeah. It wasn't just overnight. I couldn't get my 10 gazilli.
And the reason why they do this is to make sure their secure practices are set up in such a way that if I was trying to steal your bank account, well, I don't know, you got $10 million in there, and set this up on my Coinbase account, those 2 to 3 days, you're going to see these small microtransactions pending to your account, and it gives time for red flags to be raised. And that's really the idea behind it.
Right. I will admit, as soon as it happened and I did my first transaction, my bank called me immediately, which is wild because they never call. Usually it'll just if I go out of state and I don't let them know, and they'll just decline it. With this, it was immediately they're like,
yeah.
Yo.
They're definitely under the magnifying glass at this point in time with these types of things. So, when you are setting these things up, definitely take a couple days and don't expect these transactions to happen overnight, especially if you're looking to buy 10,000.
Right now.
10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So now that we got our account set up, one of the things that we want to do also, and in each one of your limit raises every time we do some of these steps. So we've added our debit card.
Yeah.
We get a limit of $200. You add your bank account. You might get a limit of $750.
Whoa.
You do Know Your Customer and you sign up with your ID and you send your verification and it gets approved. Then you might be able to be eligible for $5,000.
That's not even half a BTC.
We're working our way up there, but it's not an easy process. And the purpose of, like I said, is to make sure there's safe practice of money and people aren't trying to hide it and trying to hoard it and put it away so nobody can find it.
All right.
They're doing their part to really limit and bottleneck who gets into this space and why.
So I can't just throw money at it.
No, it'll definitely fall short. So one of the next levels after that you want to look at after setting up your account is securing your account. Because now you've set it up with your email and your password. The next thing that you can do is you can do one of two things. You can do SMS security.
Which is the phone.
Okay. So if you select SMS security, basically, and a lot of applications have it these days, and when that happens, and you'll get a text message by putting in your phone number that'll say, I think even Google does it. Google will send you a code via email or text and say 262395 is your code. And
Right.
you have to put that code in. Facebook does it now. So it's really a common practice
yeah.
for everything. But the most secure way is Google has an actual app called Google Authenticator. Very, very good.
Authenticator. It looks sweet too. It's got a really
does.
cool logo.
It looks very time machiney.
Yeah.
Kind of like, yeah, we got a lot of that going on around here. But what this app does is specifically geared towards any of the programs that allow it to be connected to it. So you can use this app and enforce this, what they call two-factor authentication. So you have your normal username and password, and the second
So that's factor one.
Yep.
Okay.
And the second factor is the app itself, which the app itself will automatically generate that 6-digit code for you.
Okay.
For the programs that you program it for.
So then I look at the Google Authenticator and it spits up this 6-digit password, and then I go over to my Coinbase account and I just enter that in?
That's right, but you only have 60 seconds to do it because every 60 seconds, Google Authenticator changes that number to be more secure. So it's not like it always just has this one same digit, 6-digit code.
Right.
Every 60 seconds, it's changing. So if
Okay.
somebody gets the chance to look over your shoulder for a second and tries to run down the hall and go, by the
Mr.
time they get
Sneaky.
to where they're going to be able to put that number, it's going to have changed already. So that's exactly why they do that.
I like it.
So that's another thing that now you might have $7,500 in
Well, now I'm at 0.7 BTC
That's right. So you're,
a week.
what, like 2% there? Not even? No, not even close. So what
Going against me.
other options do we have? Well, when you sign up for Coinbase, there is an option where you can actually contact Coinbase directly. Let them know what limit you're looking for.
10 gazilli.
Let them know you want to sit at the high rollers table.
Dollar bills,
Beautiful, beautiful
y'all.
thing.
That's right.
And the development team and the support will actually work with you in terms of what's required for that depending on your spending limit. It's not like we can just say, oh, for this much money you need this much money you need this.
Right.
It's really going to be dependent on the time, the situation. And these things are changing too as we're evolving. Some of
Yeah.
these security practices are getting, just from when I signed up and from when you signed up months later, it had definitely flip-flopped around. You couldn't add your bank account
Yeah.
until you did your driver's license. So the rules and restrictions around this process
Have
is getting
already
a little
heightened.
more- Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they've already heightened.
Absolutely.
So I can just contact them. So I'm like, hey, it's Mark Cuban. I've got a football load of a gold bullion here to trade in for some Bitcoin, and they can make special arrangements depending
Absolutely.
on.
Well, they are the creators.
So-
They have that access. So let's say you
that.
do.
Yeah, helipad in.
Now you have a $10 million per week spending limit. Now we're finally at where you're going to be. And I'm going to say in 99.9 instances, you're going to be charged when you're purchasing a coin with your dollars. Once they're in Coinbase, you're going to be charged a 1.5 to 4%. I'm going to call it a purchase fee.
So when I'm trading my so wholesale, so let's say if Bitcoin is 10,000 even, just for sake of simplicity, and I take my 10 chubby here and this over here, so that I don't get one full one with my $10,000, does it get a little less? Do I get 0.9999 because how does that work?
So when you put in your, let's just say, just to make the numbers easier, let's just say you purchased 10,000 this week.
Yes.
What they do is they include that 4% in your 10,000. So 4% of $10,000 is what, $400?
Sounds good to me.
All right, fantastic. My math is on today. So you're gonna purchase $9,600 worth of Bitcoin, and you're going to have a $400 purchase fee, and it's going to be rolled in. It's not going to be $10,400, whatever the amount you put in to buy.
And if I wanted to make up that $400 and I put another $400 in, there'd be another fee, and I would still be short.
Yeah, you'd be charged the 4% off of that $400.
So I would have to do something around like 10.50 or 10.5 or something like that to get my one, and then counterbalance those fees.
And that's the way it's really going to look when the individuals that are paying. Well, anything under $200 for most of us folk here that don't have rich uncles. I believe they have a flat purchase fee for anything under $200, and I think that probably runs around $1.99 to $2.50 last I checked. It could have moved to maybe 10, 15, 20 cents here or there, but that's really what you're looking at is for the flat rate under $200.
Okay.
Also, one of the things that you want to remember is the length of time it takes when you are making a big purchase of $10,000 or $10 million. I'm sure if you're going that high, anything upwards of $10,000, I believe, is going to require a bank wire.
Yeah.
Which means you have to go into your bank in person, sit down with them, give them your Coinbase account number.
Yeah. We're getting serious.
Serious. Big money. There's a lot of eyes watching, and unfortunately, the process has actually come a long way from what it was 3 to 4 years ago.
It wasn't easy to break into this.
Believe it or not. So it's come a long way, and in the next few months, we're definitely going to see some major strides and releases that we're going to be looking at. We're very much looking forward to. So with a bank wire, you're going to get hit with a $10 fee, but that's going to be almost an instant transaction.
And that's on top of the 4%?
That's on, well, this is just to get your money into Coinbase.
Ah.
Okay. So it's just a direct wire to get the money in there. So
Okay.
it's $10 flat fee bank wire.
Okay.
And then that's straight from the website today. We just make sure I check that out. And then when you're actually purchasing the coins, that's where you're going to get hit with the 1.5 to 4%.
I understand.
Purchase.
Okay.
So whether your limit is $5,000, $10,000, $10 million, like this guy over here, lucky you guys. You know, there's different levels on where you're going to get it. And I would imagine if you are able to get up to this $10 million spending limit,
Yeah.
they're going to give you probably some sort of a major discount in terms of purchasing.
Well, I hope so. We'll figure it out.
So let me know how that goes, and we'll check back in with you guys. So now that we have our money in our Coinbase account, we're ready to go. And the question I get asked is, well, what do I buy? I'm just starting out. What are the coins that I'm looking at? And the biggest thing that I will let individuals know is you want to go with one of the Fantastic Four.
And that's all you can really acquire in Coinbase, isn't it?
That's right. Well, that's for good reason, too. So Coinbase only offers 4 options right now. We have Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum.
Okay.
So these are the major players that have established themselves very, very well and have become what's known as trading pairs.
So I can trade any of those 4 for any altcoins?
Almost, yes. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are very widely spread used.
Okay.
Bitcoin Cash was kind of the late follower that showed up in late December, but is starting to make a name for itself in terms of there are exchanges opening up where they have trading pairs for Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
Therefore, that means you can trade Bitcoin Cash for other coins in some exchanges. Not all, because it was a little late to the game, but typically Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are the major players that have established themselves that are almost kind of universal coins.
Universal coins. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Universal
that
coins. Personally, right now,
it's like the skeleton key of coins.
Absolutely, it really is.
I like that.
You really have to get one of those 3 to be able to transfer out and use these other exchanges, which we'll talk about in another 101 here. But you got to start somewhere, and these are really solid bets. They've had solid gains over the past year, and I think probably the majority of the population expects to see some even more solid gains throughout the next few years as well. It's definitely not going to be as fast as some of the other altcoins, but this is where we're getting our money in here. We're getting our universal tokens that we can start moving around and start playing this crypto game.
I like it.
Absolutely.
It's starting to make a lot more sense. So it's going to take a little bit of time. I can't just jump in the deep end with this one like I thought I could. I thought I could see. I was like, Scrooge McDuck. Well, Mr. Scrooge, what was it? Not, the one from DuckTales, not the old grumpy one, but, the one that had the giant pool of money. And I saw all these Bitcoin, and I was him, and I was just like, but it's a mirage, and I just
wanna
jumped
swim
in
through it.
and I hit just a cold, snowy bank of a pothole outside in Detroit.
Twice. But that's a story for another day. But I think for the majority of users and the ones that work the 9-to-5s and are paycheck to paycheck, there is a lot of solid ground that you can make in just setting up the free account where you're not putting in your driver's license.
Okay.
You're just downloading the app. You're linking your debit card, or some individuals do their credit cards. We recommend never spending more than you're willing to lose. But there are individuals that are emptying out their credit cards. So debit or credit card, putting that on there, and just getting the $200 limit.
It's a good start.
So you could pull out, a lot of individuals pull out 4 or 5% and just tuck that away into their savings. It's really almost becoming common practice where the savings is becoming the crypto.
Just put a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time, and over time you're throwing these $100 and $200, and you don't have to go through the hassles of setting up your driver's license and hooking up your bank account and worrying about this, if you don't want to.
Right.
So you can really make a lot of headway and set it up and think about it in almost a form of savings.
Sure.
That you can start getting familiar with some of the territory very, very, very easily.
Or even as well, if you're looking into it and want to just observe the numbers for a little while. So getting the process going, because we can't just dive right into the deep end. You have to kind of put a toe in and test out the waters. And then when you're doing that and you start, recognizing the numbers for the first time, and they do move up and down kind of rapidly. So if you do want to get the process started, because it does take those couple days, and you can watch those numbers and then determine, I think I'd rather go with this coin, or I'd rather go with this coin and invest into this.
That's right. And even a better idea to even prep you for some future things to come, if you're really considering crypto as an investment option or a hobby or whatever it might be, is to be able to, even if you just had that $200 limit, as you're watching these things go up and down, you find a heartbeat, you find a rhythm to it, and it's pulsating. It's alive. It really, really, truly is. And you see this go up and you see it go down. And if you get to the point where you're like, oh, you know what? This is down $70 since last time I saw it. Maybe now is a good time to throw 20 bucks at it.
Right.
Maybe the next day it goes up a little bit, and the next day after that it goes back down, and it went down a little lower than it was when you first bought that first $20. Maybe I'll throw $50 into it. And you start feeling out this rhythm, which is really what it's about. And some of these traders that are sitting here in front of these screens for hours and hours and hours at a time, they're just becoming one with this heartbeat and figuring out where these coins are going and riding this wave. So it's definitely something to think about. And there's a few different avenues you could take in terms of getting started, setting up some sort of savings or starting into the investments. And we're really excited to bring this information out to everybody and get everybody a little more familiar with this.
Well, I'm going to have to send this one to my uncle here and let him know that this is a good way to start the process going. And
absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. You know what? We got True Wisdom card of the day.
Let's do it.
What do we got here? In this little pouch. Again, we got a friend that makes these. Kind of cool. There's just a modified deck of playing cards here. They got all these great quotes on them. And we like to end each episode with a little bit of positivity. And today we have from Confucius. Love it, love it. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop.
God, I love it.
It's funny how, we didn't plan to wear red today. We didn't call each other while we were in the bath and doing our hair or whatever.
We might plan not to next time.
Yeah, right? We just show up like, oh, look at us, aren't we a pair? It's just like this, how often serendipitously it works out. And,
absolutely. Thank you guys very much once again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
We'll see you next time on CryptoCosm. And we have all kinds of great social media coming your way as well. Check us out on Facebook. We have cryptocosm.show. And then we have CryptoCosm group, so anybody can just add and chat in there if they want to. Feel free to ask us questions, all right? Contact us at cryptocosm.show. Fire away anything you'd like at Aaron and Aaron, and we'll be happy to talk about it, whether it's astrology, whether it's about, anything crypto related. Get at us. We're happy to help. We're here for you.
And all that information is going to be right down here in the description for you when you need it. So don't think you have to remember any and all of that.
That's right. We'll see you next time. Like, share, subscribe, click that bell.
Cryptocosm.